most zones. We've seen everything get crazy, but so far, I want to go towards the northeast of Urzikstan. And as our players start to go through that plane line just through Old Town, through Cargo, going to be ending over by Manor, will we see a return to Manor for Enkyo, Heeds, and Gromalok? They made an early game change in drop number 2 to land over in Kotovo blocks all the way on that northwestern side. But with this plane line changing back up, you can see they're going to land back at home.
Yeah, that was that number 2 squad. That's the team you're talking about, Tiff. It's such a great call out. They said they're flexible. They said they can change up drop spots for, you know, depending on play line, but depending on circle. This one seems to bode well, but the teams in your screen, they're definitely not changing up their drop spots. Same fight, same place, same time, right at the beginning of the map on the outside of this firehouse. Huncho tries to win again. Now, both teams have traded wins, so at this point, there's no tiebreakers. It's just who's going to win this one in round 3. I almost want to hear the like bell ring as they enter into the arena again and see maybe this time there is a tie and both teams just decide to leave. But Kong with a bit of pressure means they're going to come swinging because Ghoul wants some blood, and Ghoul is the IGL for this team. Talked a little bit about this squad. They competed last year on different teams, came together for this team this year, so we'll see. But oh my gosh, a nice win. But Tiff, you know what that means.
That's very on brand with everything I've witnessed from that trio throughout World Series of Warzone, constantly in the gulag early, burning that substantiality. And you can already see FIFA getting fooled right there. He's joining back into the gulag. If something is going like catastrophically wrong for their early game, and it chalks the entire mid game for them. And honestly, I hate to see it because these are some of the best people in competitive Warzone, personally, in game, out of game, all the things now. And FIFA just really needs to lock it in, take this gulag win against Lays, and get back into the fray.
It's the exact same thing we talked about yesterday as FIFA kill falls. It was just a fully, wholly missed time and misread situation in the gulag. It's the same thing we're talking about. I could even use the terminology. It's turning the page of a new era of Warzone. A lot of our old guard potentially falling to the LCQs. Now, they've got time, but they don't have that much time. They are way down there. These two teams, again, in this weird quagmire fight where they're just waiting for the other team to make a mistake. Huncho trying to creep in. It could be a new age of Warzone, Tiff. That's all I'm saying.
I told you, look, you can work so hard to get to the upper echelon of whatever it is. This time it's competitive Warzone, but you have to work twice as hard to maintain that status because it puts a target on your back that everyone is looking to unseat you at the top. And for some of our squads, you can see that loadout finally coming in here for Rafik, Scuffology. Rafik's down. Smoke to try and cross here for Scuff to get Rafik's back up on their feet and maintain some stability. But yeah, Goj, it's tough. Once you get to that top, everyone wants to take you down.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the game is different, and frankly, this is the only tournament we've ever seen in Warzone history at this scale, and also at a level where no spot is gained, everything is earned. You had to battle tooth and nail through a rigorous competition to even get to this spot, and so I don't know. This is so interesting. Look, I was talking to Enigma before the broadcast. He made a really good point. He used the terminology no divine right, which we saw in NA. Everything has to be earned. You are not given anything in this competition. You have no rights to anything. Go earn it. And FIFA kill on his last leg, looking like he's in martyrdom stance, taking shots with a pistol from range. For what? Maybe to help out Juki so he doesn't get thirded? I don't know.
Juki's full out as well. We don't have enough cash to hit that buyback, and Lennon's fighting for his life in the gulag right now, and FIFA just got back into it. So let's run out of Levin here. We do not need to stay around resort. So look at our options. If we leave here and we go to the north in Kotovo, you have two squads fighting. You've got squad number 5, which is going to be Team Zach rotating in, and Prodigy, Oki, Echo, one of my, I guess we'll call them under horses, right? Constantly flying under the radar, have been trying to stabilize throughout our prior drops, and they're not even in top 12 realm. They're 5 points outside of it, sitting in 18th.
Yeah, I've got a lot of words for that Prodigy team. Sure, they might be some people's underhorses, but Prodigy, the top performer on global LAN finals last year, playing alongside Wars, they have 5th overall. So still a heavy burden to be one of the top EU teams, or at least the top EU player, to be way down the leaderboard. Same with this squad. This is a team that, frankly, some people didn't think was going to be very good. Some people have some differences, maybe from a chemistry standpoint, trash talk standpoint. With Wiz, he is a little bit of a, maybe aggressive is a good word, character, likes to trash talk, likes to get into people's faces. This team, I thought, had a really good chance to make global finals, a kind of haphazard squad that got thrown together, and on the back of Wiz's IGL, they've been really struggling today, whereas in other stages of the competition, they had decent moments. Be curious to see if they can turn things around here into the second third of our tournament, if you will. But Novak trying to grab another angle from above, looking at another team in military base. Again, our northern circle. If you want to take a look at that circle in its totality at all times, head over to youtube.com/Call of Duty. The map is always on, and between maps, the leaderboard always on, Tiff. So you can see what we're seeing on the left-hand side of where these teams are fighting. You're in military base, and then, like I was saying, left Popov, another good place to be for this circle.
Yeah, and this squad, 19 points outside of 12th place. That's scary, knowing that we are in map number 3. As we get a look, we can hear that they're already dealing with some issues. We'll check in now. Squad number 2, fully wiped this early on. Now, mind you, they returned to Manor. That's going to be Enkyo, Gromalok, and Heats, one of your top-seeded squads that everyone had their eyes on. It's Omit EU, the French roster that comes in swinging, cannot find their footing for now. Now, we'll have to look to the later half of our 6-game series to see if they can maintain on the leaderboard. Regardless, they're still in 4th. Gromalok with 32 points. Yeah, they can afford this for now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They can afford a bad map, but they can't afford more than maybe one. So Inkyo out of here means that the terror on the map right now is that number 1 team, top team from upper bracket. I call them the TBE of overseas, been together for years and are still competing, unlike TBE from North America. Stuo, Inksy, and Patzuka, a massive rotation to get power position and power. I believe we're going to be heading to Popov for our final circles, but who knows? It's Warzone. And as our teams rotate in on the edge, this is coming out of City, way down south. They actually have wide open spaces. It's just these 2 teams down in City. Everyone else is already fairly deep inside of Circle.
Look, we got 33 squads up, and one of them is not Team FIFA kill. They have been fully wiped. They were trying to regain. It's just not happening. I really hope that they can make a stand for those last 3 games. But for now, we'll turn our attention over to one of the squads that is trying to make a play in Old Town. Now, the majority of our teams have found themselves relatively centered up, whether that's in the south side of Popov Power or over here in Old Town. Squad number 9, that's going to be Team Control Deck, already trying to disengage, losing out on PD from Robstar out across. Bubble in the Gulag. This squad still not inside the top 12, trying to get there.
Yeah, quick word, by the way, from our folks at home. Dandra over in North America tuning into the broadcast telling us, hey, by the way, I'm getting word FIFA kill fully eliminated again, out in about 37th place, Tiff. Are you kidding me? A full, utter breakdown from one of our top favorite teams. They struggled in the last round of competition. We thought they would turn it around. I think Enigma used something along the lines of, we will never see that again. And, well, unfortunately, Enigma, you are very rarely wrong, but here you definitely are. This is brutal.
Very much brutal. We'll have to check back in with them on drop number 4. But for now, turn our attention over towards Team Huncho. This rotation that has to occur out of military base. When we talk about crossing waters, this team needs to do it. But for them to go through and get this away, we have a different squad that's at the helm trying to out-rotate them. Team Bayer coming in from that upper bracket, and, well, that's how you wipe them out.
Yeah, it's a great play. Huncho on 4. Means they're doing fairly solid. And again, you really want to have that amount of kills. You need like 5 to 6 going into the mid game so you can trust your team, trust your IGL to get you to the end zone and not have to worry about picking up as many kills along the way. Sure, they're going to happen. Sure, you're going to run into team fights. Sure, you want to take those kills if they come to you, but you don't have to. Whereas if you're a team that has 0 going into 3rd and 4th circles, you got to make a move. You got to get some kills and you got to get a little bit more aggressive. Because just getting into the top 10 does nothing for you if you don't have any kills to write home about. You need an 11-point average. Tiff, you called it out at the top of this map. Teams are averaging about 11.2 on that bubble of 12th place. if you're way down in the 5s and 6s every map, you are not going to make global finals, and you're gonna have to battle through LCQ, which we all know is gonna be incredibly difficult. Prodigy has 3 TIF, looking for his 4th against a really good team. Clearing out this POI as this squad could go huge. They need it. They are way down in the 30s.
Echo may be one of the most cerebral players that I will see here in this EMEA lobby. I have watched this player grow from the past few years into this really new player here on Urzikstan. He picks up Oki and Prodigy for this year's World Series of Warzone and trying to break down the #1 seeded team on the roster. This team, however, outside the top 12, fighting to get back in it, and you've already sent the #1 seed team packing over here in Sorkin Industrial. So you're setting yourself up to clean out that northern side of the zone, which is likely going to pull directly into power after this.
Yeah, we've seen this kind of power zone, I don't know, 3-4 times here on main broadcast, a couple times, and I think the teams that get here early usually get paid for it. There is a sizable amount of cover here. There's a ton of buildings you can play around with, and it really comes down to, is it going to pull to that south side where it's the edge, which is this kind of area? Team 5 is right in dead center of that pop-off power, kind of holding down around these kind of like power grid sections. There's a couple small buildings here. It's that south side I'm worried about. Just south of this team, there's several buildings that kind of line the street in that open area where we've seen the last couple zones kind of clip. If we're on that edge, all these teams on the north side are going to be in trouble. And as we see the new zone, it still seems very centrally located, which means you're going to find a lot of success if you got here early. I'm looking at Team 6 again, Prodigy. They're hunting the edge of the new. This is still fairly central pop-up. They should still be able to have a pretty good power position going into the 5th and 6th circles.
And I think it's fun that you're already talking about the power positions, because Echo prides himself on knowing where he needs to play on a macro level. Studies a lot of rotations, works on that loot path, but something that's been hard for this squad is to maintain that time frame. When is the best chance to make a staple and get into that position for endgame? Because they'll oftentimes get there too early and struggle from not being able to maintain it. So playing just on the outside of the center of the next circle is something that I think is going to pay off in full here for them in map number 3.
Yeah, we've got a couple teams maybe crossing the bridge right now as well. Getting word Abwiz's team gave them the call to step up and make a play. They're out of here at around 30th, so a lot of ground to make up in the second half of this tournament. But second place here, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan being represented here with Team Falcons. They have a wide rotation as their third's going to try to catch up here in the water. This is going to be really tough. Still technically zoned, so they don't have to make too aggressive of a play. They can kind of lurk in the water here. And as a third party potentially happens, they could make a play up onto land, clean up those teams, and make their way into zone. 2 teams fighting, you can kind of surface out of the water and maybe... I don't know what a land to sea animal is that can do both. Maybe a crocodile. That's a good animal. Crocodile. Make a crocodile play. Out of the water, eat some people up, grab third, and then get your kills and move on.
I was really thinking about it, but I could not think of an animal. But now you have to keep the trend. You had raccoon in map number 1, crocodile in map number 2. Just keep it going. But for this squad on your screen, averaging 27.4 points per game out of 2 maps, that is quite insane. And honestly, if they have a decent game here, I wouldn't be surprised to see them lock their tickets into the Global LAN Finals. But for Blade on the opposing side of this, you're witnessing HMood just constantly look to take space. Now, Wars' team on the bridge will be a thorn in the side to the engagement. I love that HMood looks at them and immediately pulls towards the left to stay out of their line of sight.
Yeah, Louis has a great position here, and frankly, I don't know who let them take this. They actually came in very late. This is the team when I said, hey, somebody's crossing the bridge. It was Team Worse crossing the bridge and holding the bridge. They stay. No one can test them on this side. If they get zone pull, which is very possible, we've seen that in circle before, they will likely win this game. But if it goes all the way across to the western side of Popov or south side of Popov, they're going to be in trouble. There's going to be 5-6 teams holding them on rotation, and everyone knows they're here because they're raining hellfire from above with kind of ultimate high looking over the map. So Bubba would love to clean up some of these teams, make their rotation easier as the new zone pops. Here we go. Are they going to get it? Barely. Yes, they are inside a zone and are able to stay on high ground with a wide wrap being the only flank that could hurt them. This is a great spot for them.
Yeah, but they're going to have high ground here and out of line of sight for now. But as they have to carry on to the next circle, they'll likely get lower and lower. So I'm worried about the bridge play for now, but they've just got so many angles that they can take for free here. And it's quite nice considering they're working on about 10 eliminations for the squad. They were outside the top 12 coming into drop number 3, and they are just really showing up. And I'm glad to see it for Team Wars.
Yeah, talk about a team in a good position. Look at Team 14 on that mini-map right around the corner in a building waiting for this next zone. That's Rocket, a Polish player playing with a new squad this year. Made land last year, but got brought into a new team. We'll see what they're able to do. Holding down the position just low of Louis CM. You can see them with this aerial cam. I like this spot from them. They're fairly centrally located. It's a hard building to push. There's a lot of open ground around it. This is Clapper, the team on your screen now. A fun team to talk about because of this story of Zakar and Rocket and Clapper finding each other, finding Rocket right before open quals. And this is something that a lot of teams can say the same about, right? They had maybe 2 players looking for a third up until about an hour before our open quals in game, made the team and are here in regional finals trying to make global finals yet again. Very, very fun stories to talk about. I'm sure the desk will break more of those down as Louis CM holds the bridge like he owns it. About 7 eliminations between 2, probably 8 or 9 in total across this trio. Nice spot to be in going into the 5th and 6th circles.
It's crazy when you come from Bubble CT's squad over to Echo's team on the screen. Both former teammates of Echo, but now we get to see what they're able to do. Considering they had already worked on clearing out the northern side, they found themselves going to be making a last-ditch effort rotation from the northwest, but I'm really curious to see where this circle does pull towards. Will the bridge still be in play for Team Wars? Can they stay up there for now? But with 3 teams over towards the eastern side on Echo, they're going to have a lot of teams looking to hold them out.
Woo, yeah, and the pull goes even more central. We're almost dead center of pop-off power. Wars' squad not in a ridiculously tough rotation, but it's pretty dang open. Like you said, that bridge gets lower and lower. Back to earth they go, and they're gonna have to make a play likely soon as we see kill after kill in the feed. You see Mood's team go down. Second place team gets full wiped by Melvin, which means, hey, Fuzzin', you're still here, you're still playing. 3rd place on our live board on the right-hand side, trying to make a play for second as they wipe 2nd place. Window of opportunity, they are running with it. Wiping squads left, right, and center, trying to place themselves near center of zone. And again, Rocket, a great building, and Louis says, I think we won it.
There goes the bunker buster, baby, straight on to Zakar's squad. That is going to be the power position they want, but back on over to a squad that has found so much success. King AJ, Vision, this team still a duo for now, and they are under so much pressure from Team Echo on the opposing side.
A big map for them. They would like to make sure they make global finals and already likely have done it. Live leaderboard on the right-hand side, 89.6. You joking? Our cutoff is like 66 max, maybe 70. They're probably in global finals. They're going to play spoiler for some really good teams, though. Win another map. Show EU, EMEA supremacy across the board. You said you want to drop us? How about we make our own team and win it all? Louis CM, though, goes big inside, wins the gunfight. Rocket had a great position, and they don't even lose wars. Bubble up as well. Wow, what a win inside this building. Unfortunate breakdown for Team Rocket. They will be blasting off back to the lobby, waiting on the next one, Tiff, as Wars now has a great spot, and yet again, they don't get the pull they want. Center, back to the bridge. This is going to be a tough one.
I thought you were about to hit you with the prepare for trouble and make it double, but for now, the C4 is reigning supreme in the building for Wars. This is the game they needed to really turn the tide and potentially lock in global land finals, but we can't stay in this building as that circle pulled out towards the northwest, so we are on that rotate straight into Team Huncho.
Wow.
All 3 up here in one of the later stages, 25 seconds before it finally closes up, and Wars trying to stay safe here. The smoke's helping for now, but if anyone peels out of this building, you're gonna fall right into a trio prepped and ready to take you down.
Yeah, it's a good spot until a couple C4s go out the window. So once they know there's a team right below, we're going to be in trouble. Maybe already one being thrown. I love this rotation from Wars, though. Going this early, set them up for success. Thermite hits Wars dead in the face. He's going to get knocked here. Will not get fooled with the Thermite changes that happened a while ago, but does go down, and Bubble and Louis have to make the call. Do we go for the res? Let Wars go ahead and burn the self-res. Quick replay. You'll see this Thermite hit him square in the face. Nice slowdown production. I love it. should be good to go. No, I think got cleaned up, Tiff. What in the world? They knew he's gonna get full, so they let him die.
Yeah, you have one member left of Team Echo. You can see Oki just still in this bridge. You have Team Zach on the outside of this mini-map that was trying to make a gas play in Rafix. Marcus, the team that had that back-to-back wins in lower round 2, coming out swinging and finally awakening in map number 3. And look at the angles that Oki is able to do. Now, this is going to play spoiler alert on 3 eliminations, trying to get into the top 12. But if we're going to be the real third party, looking for whatever we can clean up, whether that's from Hallow, whether that's from Rafix, you just got to do what you can.
Oh, Zach's team falls in 6. Now everybody that is alive has the top 5 multiplier, 1.8 in their pocket. And now we go for the win. Oki with a great angle, gets one weak, might open an opportunity for Bubble on the other side, helping out some opposition here. Oki, it is so difficult to win 1v3s, 1v2s, and to win it all as a solo, but Oki has a position that might afford him the opportunity. He's got to take seize of it, though, as Louis CM and Bubble still both alive, having to play trades. C4 can help out here if he can get it off, but no. Sticks on the wall, not going to do anything besides maybe zone off one. Bubble making huge plays by himself, though. Both of this duo, they're separated. They're playing ISO 1v1s, and they're winning. Okay, got spot, but has to come off shortly. If he doesn't have a lot of gas mask to work with, just a couple ticks, likely a PDS in pocket. We see one in his inventory ready to go. It's going to be a PDS war here on the outside while Team Marcus lies in wait in the zone.
And they need this win, right? You see Scuffology trying to chuck those C4s over to the building. The squad outside 30th place right now. And Oki with the PDS down can just bide their time and let it rip with the Holger. Here comes another PDS.
Oki just gets them weak. Bubble, Louis CM wiped, but it's an even playing field. It's an even ball game, and he has done the near impossible. Not a ton of eliminations, but got everyone